we're going to be going through Tailwind CSS. It's a CSS framework. Yeah, just a minute. So my name is Brian Mureithi. I'm a full stack developer. I work with technologies like Vue, React, Tailwind CSS, which we're going to be talking about right now. For those ones, I use them on the front end, and then I have Django and Node.js for backend. I'm also a final year student at Square. I'm studying computer science and also the UI UX lead for GDSC Square. So for this workshop, whether you're new to web development or looking to streamline your workflow, it's going to help you. Yeah, so let's start. So this is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to start with introduction to Tailwind. Then we go to Tailwind versus Bootstrap, we compare. Bootstrap is also another CSS framework. Then we check the benefits of Tailwind, then learn how to install and use Tailwind. And after that, we have a Q&A session, then we close. Yeah. So what is Tailwind CSS? So according to the official website, Tailwind is a utility-first CSS framework for rapidly building custom designs, and it is designed to make your life as a web developer easier. We're going to see this as we continue. So some developers don't like it because it makes the HTML or JSX markup look busy, but I hope you're going to find it cool as I found it cool. Yeah, because you do a lot. It helps you become it makes your development fast. Let me say that. Yeah, so instead of writing custom CSS from scratch, like on a CSS file, it provides you with a set of utility classes that you can apply to directly in your HTML and using classes. You're going to see that. So this approach reduces the need for writing repetitive code and speeds up your development process, as I told you guys. Yeah. So it has become a very popular choice for web developers who value efficiency and maintainability. And it's going to be more popular. So let's go to Bootstrap versus Tailwind. I'm sure most of you know Bootstrap. So in Bootstrap, it requires 4 main files to be incorporated in the project, which requires more space to be occupied. It's about 300 kilobytes. But for Tailwind, you just need a style sheet to use it. So you import the Tailwind classes, or you can also use CDN to use it for styling. And the CSS file occupies only about 30 kilobytes of space. So you can see it's a very big difference. And for that space, you can use it to do a lot. Bootstrap also has a lot of overhead code, and this causes the build time to be around 160 seconds. So you see, that's okay. It doesn't seem like a lot of time, but it is. And Tailwind, on the other hand, has built-in utility libraries. So this shortens the build time up to 8 to 10 seconds. You can still see that's a big difference. Okay, so on to the next. We're going to check the advantages of Tailwind. I'll just list them here. Then we're going to go deep. So the first one is customization, no naming of styles. We're going to see that. No context switching. I'm going to explain that. I know you might seem a bit lost, but I'm going to explain it. Then development speed and responsiveness. So we're going to start with the first one, which is customization. So Tailwind comes with the default configuration, but it's straightforward to override the default configuration with the tailwind.config.js file in your project. When you install that, it's going to create this file, the tailwind.config.js. So in this tailwind.config.js, as you can see, you can you can configure it to your own liking, like how you want to use it. So for instance, here I imported some font families through Google Font, but this one you import them using the CSS file that you're going to add the Tailwind classes. You're going to see that. Then now you can use them, you can include them so that you use them as utility classes. So it comes in handy. Then the second one is no naming of styles. So Tailwind provides utility classes that can be used 99% of the time. The only time you'll have to name things is when you extract a component. So as you can see in this example, I don't know if you can see it clearly. For the naming, where I've commented naming, you can see that the classes they are named container, container height. So these are classes that are going to be styled on the CSS file. But when you check down there, we have commented Tailwind CSS. Those are utility classes. So you don't have to go style to the, you don't have to name and go then style to the CSS file. You just style using these utility classes. So MX Auto, that is the margin for the horizontal. Set it to auto. PY, that's padding for top and bottom. Set it to 12. Yeah, as you can, I'm going to explain all that. So let's go to the next. That is no context switching. So one of the reasons why Tailwind is much faster to use compared to other CSS frameworks and CSS itself is that you barely ever to have to switch contexts. That is, you're writing code on a HTML file, and then if you want to style it, to go to the CSS file. You see, changing from one file to another, it takes up a bit of time. But now using Tailwind, you just make changes on the HTML code using the utility classes. So yeah, the next advantage is development speed. So because you don't need to name any styles, you don't have to do context switching as much, and it's easy to make customizations. So implementing custom designs becomes faster when you use Tailwind CSS. Yeah, as you can see, I've shown a bit of it. So customization, no naming styles, no context switching equals fast development. Also responsiveness. So in Tailwind CSS, we have the Tailwind utilities that are generated with responsive versions. As you can see there are breakpoints. So SM for small. So this one is for the mobile. MD maybe the tablets. Large depends with the desktop and the screen sizes. Yeah, but you can also configure your own breakpoints. Okay. Okay, now we'll go to the installation part. So to get started with Tailwind, we have to install it, and it's not a hard process. It's very straightforward. So I recommend using npm or yarn to install Tailwind, since it's the simplest and the fastest way to do it. Another way is to use PlayCDN. So that is, you just copy the link from the Tailwind CSS website. The PlayCDN is designed for development purposes only, so you can't use it for production.
Well,
I'm suggesting we use this, but we can we can we can use npm.
well,
So, yeah, because it will
sorry to
be,
interrupt. Uh,
yeah.
there's some people who aren't able to see your screen. So
Oh,
maybe,
the sample one.
yeah, maybe just
Okay,
stop
okay. Let me try.
sharing and you share.
Yeah, I hope I'm not too fast. Okay, can you see now? Okay. So for the installation, to get started with Tailwind, we'll have to install it. So we're going to install using npm. I was to do it with PlayCDN, but that one is too easy. So we'll do it with npm. Then we use it. Fidel is going to take us through. He's going to style a form. Then I'm also going to style a chatbot which Adrian built using CSS, but now I'm going to implement it with Tailwind. So yeah, so let me quickly. I'm going to take you to the Tailwind website. So you just come here. This is what you can do in your own free time. You come to getting started, then click on installation, then on the Tailwind CLI part. You guys can see what I'm doing, right?
We can't. We can't.
You can see the website.
Yeah. Maybe share your whole. Um,
Yeah, let me show you. I'm using two screens, so I think that's why. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, we can.
yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying, you come to the just search. Let me go back again. You just search for Tailwind CSS. So click on the first link, which is tailwindcss.com. Then get started. Go straight. It will take you straight up to installation here. So we can either install using Tailwind CLI, using Post CSS. There's frameworks, but these ones are which are the ones that I recommend. For a beginner, you can try using this one, CDN, so that you play around with it. So for the CDN, you just copy this link, the script tag to the head of your HTML, and then you just use you start using the utility classes, and you've started using Tailwind. So we are going to do it with Tailwind CLI. I'm going to create a new project. So just okay. Just do this. So can you see the terminal?
Just
Okay. This one is to just show you how to install Tailwind. So just do this. So you just start here. We're going to be using npm. So first you write npm install dash d tailwind css, and it's going to install Tailwind. Let's just give it some time. Okay, next you write this command. This one is going to create let me see. Yeah, it's going to create a tailwind.config.js file. So let's open using Visual Studio. So as you can see, we have a package lock.json file, a package.json, but this one is the most important file here because it's what you're going to be using. So I'll just create a HTML file. CSS file. Then after that, you're going to configure. So you have to copy this. You have to copy this. Go to the tailwind.config.js file and copy that there. You just follow the process how they've explained here. You can also do it with me if you want. So we are going to go to the style.css file and copy these. These are the Tailwind directives. So without these, you cannot use Tailwind unless you're using CDN. then save. Then yeah, you start the build. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it in my terminal. Let me just change this. Okay. So let's go to the HTML file. So let's import the CSS file. And let's see if it's going to work. So we start, let's just type hello world. Sorry for that. So this is a utility class to increase the font size. So I can say text to Excel. And if you see this, the suggestions here, it means that Tailwind is already installed in your project. So I'm going to save that and let me see if it's working. So as you can see, let me change just a bit. So we can change this to 4 and see if it will change. So it means the install has not worked. Utility classes were detected in this. I've never installed. Adrian, have you installed Tailwind this way? Because I've never used Tailwind this way.
Yeah,
Ebu,
actually,
list,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
okay, I just wanted to say something. Maybe unaweza list contents za hiyo file. Za
Was there a
hiyo,
file?
ebu list. Nione.
Wait. I just juked to my terminal ya Windows.
Oh yeah,
But let me,
hata
yeah.
nadhani haina hiyo ls command, hiyo terminal ya
Let me
Windows.
check up. So this, I think
Yeah.
it may create output, but not just install Tailwind this way.
Uh,
Install it maybe when using React or something. But I think I
yeah,
can just
Mm.
but the process of installing ni hivo. So we
You see,
can
maybe
just use
just you can use place CDN because
yeah,
you're just using a HTML.
yeah.
Yeah,
But to install it with frameworks like React, you just use this process, but you don't. I don't think you use this last part. So
you
let's import.
usually do because
Oh, you do.
inside your inside your source
Mm-hmm.
directory you have maybe styles. Then ndani ya styles you have your whatever your
Oh,
like your default CSS file with
okay,
maybe other custom utility classes.
okay,
But yeah, just natumia
okay.
tu
For now,
place
let's
CDN
use
now.
Lacidian.
Mm.
So it's just importing these and the head tag this one. So we're not going to use this anymore. A style sheet. And save that. Right now it should be working. Let me see. It's working. So these are utility classes. If you want to make the font bold, just write font, then you can select from these. Oh, by the way, to have these suggestions, you can install an extension called Tailwind Intelligence, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Yeah, this one, the Tailwind CSS Intelligence. It brings you suggestions, so that's how you know you've installed Tailwind. So let's make this font bold. So you can see it's easier because you don't have to go to the style sheet to another CSS file and start writing the CSS. You just write it from here through the class. So we can change the color, and Tailwind has nice colors. So we can make it, let's say, green. You can select from this and make it that one. Yeah, and it works. So I think the next part is Fidel. You're going to take us through styling the form.
Yeah. I hope you can hear me.
Just share.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hello once again. This is Fidel. I'm a final year student here at Square, pursuing computer science, and also your web development lead. So, in the last session that we had developed a simple login form. The session itself was introduction to web, but we had a practical session where we managed to design a simple login form using HTML and CSS. So my main goal today is to transform whatever we built and to now implement Tailwind CSS that Brian has introduced. Yeah, thank you so much, Brian, for that. And yeah, so without wasting time, I think we are going to start. Um, we had, for those who were not there last time, I think we had even deployed whatever we had built. Let me send the link to the chat. Yeah, for you guys to see, to have a glimpse of whatever we built last time. Yeah, so we managed to host it via Netlify. Yeah, so our main goal today is to use Tailwind to style that form. About to share my screen. Yeah, so wait. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um, I think we're going to since we hosted the project on GitHub, we're just going to clone it very fast and have a look at whatever we built. Sorry. Kidogo tu. Yeah. So wait, what's just create yeah. So here is we have just cloned whatever we had hosted on GitHub, and I think we can have a look at it just to confirm if everything is okay. Yeah. So this is what we. Hello. I'm not sure. Can you see my screen? The
Yeah, we
local
can.
server.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm not sure how to do any. Yeah, so this is what we managed to build during the last session, and we only used HTML and pure CSS. So our main aim today is to use Tailwind CSS that Brian has just introduced to make a similar design. Yeah. So we're going to first install Tailwind. And how do we go about that? I saw Brian trying to install Tailwind via the npm. I'm not sure if so first of all, we are going to need a package .json. So for us to get that,
Fidel,
yeah.
sorry to
Hello.
interrupt. Maybe you can just use placeidian,
Hello.
similar to hello. Maybe you can just use placeidian
Okay. Okay.
so that it's easier for you.
So no problem.
Okay.
So let me just split the screen. I hope you guys can still see my screen after I've splitted. You can just confirm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so we are going to install Tailwind via the placeidian. Wait, what? Installation. Yeah, so here's a CDN. We are just going to copy this link to our HTML. Yeah, so first of all, we're going to disable our previous styling so that yeah, so as we can see, all our styling that we had earlier on is gone, and now we want to implement the styling with Tailwind. So so that we can confirm if Tailwind is if we can use Tailwind, we're going to just put some background color, BG of black. Going to save it. Yeah, so as we can see, we can now utilize Tailwind via these utility classes. Yeah, so we're going to first start styling the most root element that we have, which is the body tag. And what do we need in our body tag? We need the components, the contents of the body tag to be evenly spread and to be aligned in the center. So for that, we are going to use flex and justify center. Let's see what that does. So justify center positions the contents to the center horizontally. So for us to position every content in the center, both horizontally and vertically, we're going to use the align items center. So for Tailwind, align items center, we're going to access it via items center. That is the utility class for that style. So items center. Let's see. Oops. Where did I go wrong? Is there somewhere I went wrong? Okay, let us just, for us to debug this, let's specify the height that we need this entire body to occupy. So in Tailwind, for us to specify that we want the body to occupy the entire screen, we have the utility class hfull. Not hfull, but hscreen. So hscreen is going to specify that this tag is going to occupy the entire viewport height. So let's see if that works. Yeah. So we just specified that our entire body tag should occupy the entire of the viewport screen. Yeah. So the next style that we're going to, what style do we need? I need suggestions. How can we make our form much beautiful? Any suggestions? What is the next element we are going to target to style? So the next one is, as you can see, the next element inside our body tag is the div that holds the entire of our form plus the header, the heading of our form. So we're going to so we want this text. As we can see, the text content is much aligned in the left, and we want it to be aligned in the center. So we're going to use text center. I think that is, yeah. So as you can see, everything now inside this container. Okay, initially we were targeting this div element while giving it a class name of container. So for now, we can even remove this because we are no longer styling it with pure CSS, but with Tailwind utility classes. So as we've removed it and saved it, as you can see, there's no change happening on our web form. So the next element that as you can see, the texts are aligned at the center, and that is how we would want it, not too much aligned on the left. So what is the next element you're targeting? Probably you can give some style some styling to the h2 element, to the h2 element. Let's give some boldness to this text. Yeah, as you can see, we just increased the size of the heading. Next, we're going to, as you can see here, the form is much closer to our heading here. So we need some space in between the heading and the form itself. And for us to have a look at the form, we can this is how I approach this is my approach to styling. I would always want to see what region this certain element is occupying. So how I go about that, I just put a border. I just put a border to that tag for me to clearly see what region it's occupying. So as you can see, the form and the h2 tag are too close, and we do not want that. So yeah, let's put some margin to our form tag. That will be either a margin top or a margin bottom to the h2 tag. So a margin top of let's say 6, and you can always confirm this utility classes on the Tailwind documentation. So if you head to the Tailwind documentation, just a minute. Yeah, so you can clearly see what these utility classes mean. Let's say, for example, we want to see looking for margin or padding. Yeah, or even width. So these are the utility classes for Tailwind, and over here we have what they really mean, ama their definition. So whenever you're in doubt, you can always head to the documentation to confirm that. Yeah. So let's go on with our styling. What are we going to style next?
Fidel,
Yeah.
kuna suggestions in the chat.
Oh,
Which,
sorry.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So Magatere is saying border. Um, what 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 element needs a border in our case? Oh, that was a past suggestion that we have already made. Yeah, probably because I can see the time difference. Yeah. So I think let's just go on by first. Yeah, we're going to style our label tags. We do not want the label and the input tags aligned as they are. We want them to be inline styled. So we're just going to specify for us to specify that this element should occupy the entire of that line, we're going to use the block inline, the block utility class for Tailwind. So for us to see that in action. Yeah, as you can see, I wish I had put a border here for us to clearly see. As you can see, this is the label to the input field of the username. So block is used to specify that entire tag will occupy that entire line. So yeah, we're going to do the same for password. Class name. I had to put the border down. Yeah, so we're also going to increase the font of our label a bit because sorry. Yeah, now looks good. I'm going to do the same for our password. Yeah, so as you can see, we also would not like our labels to be aligned in the center. We want them to be aligned towards the left, like upper, if you guys can see. So to do that, we're going to specify to the parent element of these label elements that we want the text aligned towards the left. Yeah. So what is the parent? The parent is this div that is slightly below the form element. So for us to do that, we're going to do text. Yeah, we want our text to, yeah, as you can see, the texts now are aligned towards the left, and which is a good practice for sign-in form. Yeah, we're going to do the same for this div element that holds the password input field, so, which is, yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, our form looks much better. What else is needed here? What do we need to style? Any suggestions? Probably the button, because this is a sign-in button. We would want it to be much visible. Any other suggestion? As I'm waiting for suggestions, let me just style the button. How are we going to style it? Let's just first put a border for us to see what size is this button. So we do not want we want to create space inside this tag between the words and the borders themselves. So we are going to put a bit of padding, padding to, yeah, that looks good. How else can we style it? Let's give it a color. What color was our previous one? Our previous one was, I think, green. So let's give it a background color of green. And what number can we assign to this? Let's say 500. Yeah. So as you can see, yeah, it has a bit of color, which is looks good now. Yeah. So after assigning the color, we want, okay, for our standard button, a button by default comes with this property of the cursor. And yeah, for our case, we're okay with that. We don't want to style that. And yeah, also we want our text to, it doesn't look good when it's black. So we're going to give our text a bit of color. Let's say white. White is good for this case. Really? No, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's increase the size of our text. How will you do that? Text Excel. Yeah, I think I'm a text font bold. Let's try font bold. Yeah, looks good. Let's give a bit of some border radius to our button so that the edges are a bit too sharp, and we do not want that. So border, not really border, rounded. Yeah, I think rounded of SM, let's say MD, medium. Yeah, the edges have become a bit smoother, and yeah, I think our form looks good now. We can try and remove the borders that we had kept. Yeah, let's just remove that and see. Yeah, I think we can put a bit of some border on our input fields so that it can be visible. Let's look for the input fields. Sorry. Let me just put, want a border. Let's tell the color of the border. Border black, because I think it's a bit much gray. Yeah, now it's visible. So we can just copy paste this and put it in our let's give a bit of margin top to our button. Yeah, so hapa mbele margin top of about 4. Let's see. Yeah, so I think our form looks good, just similar to what we had earlier. I don't know, is that link somewhere closed? We can, sorry guys, I didn't see your comment. Is there anything I left out? suggestion at input elements placeholder instead of text. Yeah, we could put placeholders to better instruct where putting. So for us to put placeholders in our input elements, there is a placeholder attribute, and inside this attribute we put whatever text we would want to be there. So this is a input field to capture the username of the user. So please enter your username. Could be, well, let's say username. We don't want it too long. Yeah, and as you can see, we have placeholder there. So once you start typing, the placeholder disappears. Yeah. So let's do the same for the password. Password. Yeah, let's give a bit of margin to, because the placeholder is too close to the borders of. Let's see how it turns out. Margin X, I think margin X can be margin X of 2. Oops, no, it was supposed to be padding. Sorry. Yeah, so there's a bit of some space. Let's do the same for yeah. So I think our form looks great. We can compare with whatever we had. Yeah, which one is better? A bit of font issues and also this color. But all in all, I think our form is ready. And yeah, because of time, we're not going to deploy it again. I'm pretty sure you guys understood how to do that from our first session. So yeah, that's all I intended to cover today. Yeah, we have a beautiful form now. Thank you. I'm not sure if Brian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I've seen that we've run out of time. I don't know if we can continue or that's enough. Maybe if they have questions,
Yeah. Anyone who has a question on Tailwind,
anything
burning
you need
question.
clarification, something you've not understood.
Hata kama if it's out of the context of what we've covered today, anything on Tailwind generally.
Maybe you can show how to implement the breakpoints
Oh
for
yeah,
the media screens. Yeah.
yeah. So sorry. So in Tailwind, um, for us to implement responsiveness in our websites, can you hear me? Yeah, I think so. So we have I don't know how to call them, but we can just specify ahead of, let's say in this flex. Let me look for a better place where we can do that. Yeah, so here we had specified that our label element is going to occupy the entire line. So we can put this style only on media, only on, wait, how is it supposed to be? Like it's supposed to occupy the entire of the screen from for screens that are up to for mobile devices, let's say generally for mobile devices. So from there is when we can put it in line with the input field. Yeah, so let me just demonstrate that. Uh-huh. let's see the difference. So we have not specified that it's going to capture to occupy the entire screen, and we want that to happen on on screens that are above small. You can even come to the documentation and get the exact what is responsiveness. You can get the exact amount of pixels that. Is there a place to search here?
Fidel, responsiveness is under core concepts.
Responsive design, I think. Yeah. So for screens with a minimum width of 640 pixels, we're going to use SM for that, and MD for screens above 760. This, I think these are tablets. SM is for mobile devices, and LG Quendelea is for yeah, desktops and laptops. So let's just demonstrate this. Where are we? Oh, yeah. So we want this to happen on small screens and above. Not sure if, yeah. So go to, wow. Console ya Firefox inafunguka from down. So I think we can just, not sure. I'm not sure how we can see this. Yeah, so as you can see, from screens up to, what amount was it again? I think 600 and something so for mobile devices, this is the styling that we have specified for it. And when it reaches, when it breaks that breakpoint of small devices, the block utility class now applies, and as you can see, it's somewhere there. So from small screens and above, it changes to so now the block utility class now applies. So I think you can play around that, especially when you're defining your flex properties. Yeah, you can play around that. Any suggestion, any question that we could address? Yeah, Brian, anything you want to add?
No, not really. I think you've covered a lot.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for answers or clarification. I'm at a comment on what we can tackle next. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. We had planned to cover much, but time is not on our side. Yeah, we are hoping to achieve that in our next session. So, yeah, I'm not sure when our next session will be, but we are promising to make it sooner than. Yeah, we do not want to yeah. You're welcome, Adrian. thank you too for being here. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Yeah, we are hoping to learn more together. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Um, yeah, you can now go and practice much on Tailwind. Yeah, Tailwind is actually it's the best framework I think for CSS. Yeah, so thank you everyone. This was awesome. Yeah.